Hi, my name is Mark Kobayashi-Hillary. This week I'm traveling over to New York. I'm going to be speaking at the Outsource World exhibition over there. And I guess, what I've been thinking about over the past few days is how the discussions are going to take place in that conference. Clearly, the main thing that seems to be on everybody's mind in any form of business or industry at the moment is the credit crunch. We're going from a crisis in lending to an entire crisis in the whole financial services industry. And I've been talking quite recently to a few suppliers to see what they think about this. What are the suppliers in the outsourcing marketplace thinking about what's taking place in the wider business community? And it surprised me somewhat to find that almost everybody seems to think this is a very positive thing. They're talking up the opportunities linked to a potential recession even. And, why would this be? I mean, the obvious answer is when organizations around the world are struggling, looking at potential for recession, then they're very cost conscious. So they will be exploring the ideas of using outsourcing and offshoring in particular to reduce their run rate and also to fix and be aware of their costs going out into the future. So it's not just about an absolute reduction, it's also about creating some certainty. That's the theory. However, if you look at the share prices of most major suppliers, either in the States or Europe or India, their share prices do seem to be affected right now. There doesn't seem to be a lot of investor confidence in the kind of rhetoric that's coming out of the suppliers themselves. So, if their clients are affected, one would assume that their future income stream is going to be affected as well. So you could answer that it is going to have an impact. Even if organizations are looking to reduce cost, they are still going to start focusing on the basics, their basic back office, the things that they cannot avoid outsourcing, but there won't be much of the innovation that we've seen people talk about over the past couple of years. I suppose some of the companies I've talked with recently include Infosys, TCS, CSC, and all of these organizations are actually still talking up the opportunities in the market. And there are companies out there that I think that are doing things that are interesting and maybe taking a forward-thinking strategy and using mergers and acquisitions to actually outplay the present problems in the marketplace. A good example is HCL, for example. HCL managed to buy the consulting firm Axon recently, and they snatched it from the jaws of Infosys, who everyone assumed had already purchased the company. So clearly they're trying to create this income stream from having a much better front-end consulting unit. And I suppose a much more recent deal, and that's very interesting, is TCS themselves, that have bought the BPO arm of Citigroup. They spent about $500 million on this, and you would look at this and think, well, what on earth are they doing at a time when banks around the world are collapsing? Who would want to purchase a piece of Citigroup? But let's face it, out of all of the banking organizations, Citi certainly does seem to be relatively stable. They've got a very diverse income stream. They're not just reliant on investment banking. And the price that TCS has paid actually looks like good value when you start extrapolating this out and talking about 10, 15, even 20 years of potential revenue. So maybe that's the answer. Companies need to actually start thinking beyond the present crisis and thinking about where is their income going to come from 10 years from now.